Hello again, and welcome back to another episode of The Jaking Off Show. I am your host, creator-producer Jake Bassey. Hi, how you doing? I'm not doing so great. How about you? There's some hot tea that I have to get off my chest, and another mass shooting happened. Yeah, who'd have thought? As America opens back up again, we have mass shootings coming back. I guess that means we're back to normal now. What the actual fuck? Like, it was perfect to do mass shootings during the quarantine because everybody's home. All you have to do is, get your gun or whatever and shoot up an apartment building somewhere. That's it. It would be easy, but no. We had to wait a whole year. The country opens back up. The gun stores are open. Shops are open. Let's go back to normal. Like, just why? What? Of course we want to go back to, this is the normal that we're going back to? Really? Now, what happened was, in case you don't know already, that there was a mass shooting in Atlanta, Georgia, involving a sexually frustrated white man, a beta cuck, if you will, was probably getting laughed at his redneck micro-sized penis at a massage parlor. And so the tiny Asian women, they covered their mouths and they started laughing and pointing at him. And he probably got really frustrated. And he shot up 3 fucking places. Now, is this a hate crime? Yeah, I think so. Is this a crime against women? Yeah. Is this a crime against Asian women? I think so. But according to the reports, the officer that was interviewed in a press conference was saying, "Oh, he was having a bad day. Oh, he was sexually frustrated. He's suffering from sex addiction. I think he's suffering from ammosexuality. I think that's what's going on. I think this beta cuck got his micropenis pointed and laughed at and decided to shoot up the fucking place. That's what I think happened." Now, this is going to come out in a couple of days. I don't know much. This happened yesterday. I'm looking into it, and I'm very, very frustrated at what's going on with this. It's a horrible thing. It shouldn't have happened. But the thing is, what's going to happen now is that the gun conversation is going to come back into the news cycle. The gun debate, the Second Amendment debate. It's not going to be about race. It's not going to be about, hate and domestic terrorism. It's going to be about guns because a white guy did it. That's what it's going to happen. I am betting my money on that right now. I will bet my stock in Nintendo and Nissan. You see, I fucks with the Asians. I eat the Asian food. I buy Japanese stock. I was a sushi chef at a restaurant at one point. I fucks with Asians. I dated a Filipino girl in high school. So forgive the white guilt and forgive the, what can we do to support Asian businesses and stuff? I don't know, buy Asian shit. Someone on my Facebook put a yellow square and put "Stop Asian Hate." No. You're doing it wrong. You don't put a yellow square to be in solidarity with Asians. That's the fake woke bullshit where people want to be in support and they're doing it wrong. Springfield's Quickie Mart didn't get shot up. A bunch of Simpsons characters didn't die. What's with the yellow square? Come on. You're better than that. You're better than that. And apparently, this was a massage parlor, and maybe it was a place that offered the happy endings thing. I don't know that. But what I do know is that if it was a happy endings thing, I don't think this massage parlor would be out in the open, They're really sketchy about that sort of thing. There's a sketch-ass massage parlor that I've seen back home in LA that's kind of off into the corner. You don't really see it, It's one of those hidden gems. But Happy Endings is not a service that's necessarily advertised. And if it's not, it's advertised that That's not what they do. So I don't think this is a sexual frustration thing. I think the guy just wanted to get pegged by a bayonet. You know how you stuff a fucking gunpowder into an old gun? I think he just wanted his ass stuffed with gunpowder, and then he wanted to take it and fire it into the faces of random people. I think we have an ammosexual here. And you know what's going to happen? The politicians are going to talk about it, and there's going to be another gun debate. There's going to be another gun legislation thing. And now the Democrats control the House, the Senate, and the presidency. Now, you'd think, oh, maybe we'd get some reform. Wrong. We're not. Because these guys' pockets are lined by the NRA. And then you might be thinking, hey, Jake, the NRA is bankrupt because of the pandemic. Wrong again. Yes, they are bankrupt. But the thing is, that's not what's going to stop. It's going to keep happening because we like our guns. And if you piss off the right too much, where you ban like AR-15s or whatever, then more guns are going to be bought, and that would take the NRA out of bankruptcy because people will buy more guns. You see, the only color these people see is green. It's not yellow, it's not black, it's not brown, hell, it's not even white. It's green. It's all about money, and nobody gives a fuck. And I'm willing to bet that in the wake of this catastrophe, in the wake of this horrible event that happened, corporations and businesses are going to be like, we stand for you. Like, why now? It's a cash grab. It's a hashtag. It's exactly what happened last summer. We support you. We hear you. We see you with heat-seeking missiles. That is the hot jasmine tea that is brewing in my brain right now. It is hot. It is steaming. And we are having an earlier recorded podcast than usual because I'm fucking furious. That's what's going to happen. There will be corporate support and people will buy more shit. Now, here's the problem. Everybody has an iPhone. You know, they're made in like Chinese labs for like 10 cents an hour. And China's bad at it too. We buy their shit, it's all about money. It's all about money. And that's all that these people care about. And you might have a boom in Asian stores because people want to support their local business. Now, I'm not gonna pull the white guilt here. I've been supporting the Asian businesses from the beginning. There's a donut shop in my old neighborhood. It was a donut shop, and right next to it was Chinese food. I fucking went there nearly every day to get a Monster and a ham and cheese croissant. That was my shit. I fucked with that place. And I was so well known, I didn't even have to ask. I just walked in, and the lady goes, ham and cheese? And I'm going, yep, you got it. That's good business. And, it might boom, and that's great, but, the fucking Gap is going to be like, oh, we support Asian business and diversity and stuff, and then a bunch of clothing lines are going to come out with, like, cultural appropriation. Like, bitch, you weeb ass motherfucker. Like, you're gonna subscribe to Crunchyroll Premium and catch up on all the animes and get really involved in the culture because you want to be the woke influencer or whatever. Now, all this shit's going to pop off in the wake of it when it should have been that way from the get-go. See, I have Asian friends. I have black friends. Last summer I gave $100 to a friend that had her car impounded because she parked it in a neighborhood or whatever, and it was past curfew. She goes to that car. She gets fucking pulled over, and the cops said that they weren't going to impound it. They did. And it's like, what can I do about it? I have IBS. I can't go out there and protest, man. I can't do that. I want to, but I can't. And, everybody's got some money laying around now. So I'm like, okay, this is bad. What can I do? Here's some money. You fight green with green. That's what you do. Fight fire with fire. Fight money with money. And this woke shit, it's a double-edged sword because it's a good thing, but it's going to cause like fake support. and just fake bullshit to be up in the trend or whatever. And it's not why we do things. We do things for the sake of them being good and out of kindness, not out of like, oh, I'm doing this for good karma. That's not how this works. It's this fake ally thing. I don't know how else to put it. It's this whole fucking deal, and this is going to go on for weeks to come. And now that the country's opening back up, there's probably going to be another movie theater shooting. There's probably going to be another mall shooting. There's probably going to be another unarmed black person getting killed. There's probably going to be another old Asian lady getting pushed to the ground and dying because she's old and frail, you know. This stuff is going to keep happening in the news cycle because, hey, guess what? The news just became way less interesting because Trump is out of office. And that was the whole thing. You know, the news was so focused on him. And now that he's not there anymore, all of these bad things are going to happen. And there's going to be a fucking fisheye zoom lens on this stuff. And it's just back to the way things were. Only it's going to be with a face mask. It's absolutely ridiculous, man. And you heard it here. You heard it here. There's going to be another fucking gun debate. There's going to be a whole other there's going to be the faction of rednecks. They're going to be like, oh man, Joe Biden's going to take away our guns because one guy fucked up. And it's not even going to be about the fact that it was a hate crime. And it was a white guy. It was a 21-year-old micropenis beta cuck white guy that was just upset that he couldn't get laid. Like, oh, it's sexual addiction, so you get angry and shoot up the place? Rub one out. Rub one out. I get sexually frustrated plenty of times. Plenty of times. I mean, before a couple months ago, I hadn't been laid in like 4 years. Yeah, I've been sexually frustrated. Yeah, I'll masturbate furiously and feel ashamed of myself afterwards, but those feelings of dejection and rejection go away because I rubbed one out. I didn't go get a fucking gun and shoot up the place. And guess what, homie? Your parents turned you in. And what's even worse, the guy was taken alive. Of course the guy was taken alive. It was a white guy. Had it been anybody else, he would have been shot dead right there. I mean that. It would have been anybody else, but it's a white guy. Oh, he was a disgruntled employee or whatever the fuck. Excuses like that's your defense? Really? Give me a fucking break. That's going to be his lawyer's defense in the courtroom. And you know what? He's probably going to get guilty of like a hate crime or murder, obviously. He's going to do time. And you know what? He should be put in a cell with the buffest Asian dude in that prison. He should be getting egg rolls up the ass for his entire time behind bars. He should just get dicked the fuck down by egg rolls. That's what's gonna fucking happen to that guy. I hope he fucking suffers. I mean, the Boston Marathon bomber is still alive, and he's probably getting sodomized to hell and back. But, you know, if this guy gets taken alive, there are things worse than death. I hope that this guy suffers. But, you know, he's also going to get 3 meals a fucking day. And he's probably going to get backed up by the Aryan Brotherhood, you know, because there's gangs in prisons and all that shit. And that's all fucking racist shit right there. But it's just... It's a lot. It's just a lot, you know, and I have a friend who posted up childhood pictures of herself, and she was like, oh, I always hated being Asian because of like stigmas and shit, and that sucks. Do I understand that? I mean, kind of. I mean, I'm a white dude. I was picked last for the team and stuff, and like I've hated being white, and like I feel that, but this is on another level. This is on another fucking level. Like, and these are like, you know, these are women, Asian women, that are at the bottom of the fucking barrel. They're always treated as like sex workers and all that shit. And it sucks. I mean, and that's all I got to really say about that, really, is that it sucks. And there's not really much I can do about it, but talk my shit about it and hopefully those that listen will maybe, buy some takeout and just throw money into business and fight green with green. I mean that. Fight green with green. All this corporate woke shit is going to distract you, man. It's going to be a whole other fucking issue about the guns, and it's a fucking mistake. It's all a fucking mistake. But other than that, did you guys get your stimmy? Speaking of green, did you get your stimmy? I got my stimmy. Am I saying that out loud? Am I posting it up on the internet? No. Am I trying to get robbed? No. But I got my stimmy, and guess what? I'm going to spend it all on a wedding in October. I got my money, and I put it away because a really good friend of mine is going to get married in Vermont, and that's going to be fun. That's going to be a good time. But I'm putting the money away. I'm going to buy a plane ticket probably sometime next week because the COVID cases are up and people are on spring break and we might go into another lockdown again. Who knows? I'm kind of wading in the water here. I'm playing it by ear. It's real touch and go. But I'm going to look into buying a plane ticket either sometime next week or the week after that. We'll see what happens because we are going to get more vaccinated people, and that might make people more apt to travel. So the sooner I jump on it while plane tickets are cheap, the better. So here's my plan with that. I'm gonna spend the bulk of that stimmy on plane ticket, car rental, hotel. That's the bulk of what's gonna be spent. Let's say round trip, car rental. And I might want to stay at a hotel for a day or two. That's probably half right there. And maybe another section like on some food. Because, okay, look, here's the plan. Go from Will Rogers Airport to Boston International. Fly in at Boston, all right? On like maybe the wedding's on the 10th of October. So maybe fly in on the 8th or the 9th or something like that. Fly into Boston. Let's say it's an afternoon flight. Get a flight, go to a hotel, and depending on the hour, let's check out a comedy mic in Boston, right? Let's try out the comedy scene in Boston. I mean, I'm an angry white dude with a red beard. I think I'd fit right in. Mad ginger guys. I mean, Bill Burr's at the top of the list here, but I could do a quick mic and just hit the jokes fast and loud and hard because they like that shit. So I've been told by my mentor. Because I asked my mentor, have you ever done comedy in Boston? And she's like, tons. And I'm like, I'm gonna give the Boston scene a shot, a look at, while I'm on the Eastern Seaboard for like a couple of days or so. Hang out in Boston overnight, do a mic potentially, rent a car, drive 3 hours to Burlington, Vermont, do the wedding, and maybe, if time permits, maybe I can pass through Manchester, New Hampshire, and check out comedy over there. Because while I'm there, I'm going to check out a mic. I'm going to do that. Like, why not? It might be my only chance. Rent a suit, go to the wedding, and now see the wedding. That's going to be a lot of fun because I've only been to like 2 weddings. And both of those weddings were not traditional in the sense. This will be like the first like wedding. You know, I'm going to rent a suit. I'm going to look nice. I'm going to look like $1 million, you know. Hopefully I'll be ready for hopefully I'll have a summer bod by then because I'm skinny and, you know, I got the protein powder from my sponsor and I'm doing push-ups every day and I'm having the protein powder and the super greens to like get back in shape and really get the ball rolling again. Because I got to get in shape and I got to be ready for this. Because I'm going to be on a plane and I'm going to be driving for 3 hours and my gut needs to be in top condition. I need to be in top form. And I want to be okay with that. I want to enjoy the wedding and have a good time and not spend half of it in the fucking bathroom. So this is going to push me to be strict on my diet and get it going. Now, this wedding, I'm going to roast the bride and the groom. This isn't official. we're still like in the planning stages of like, like the date is the 10th. It's going to happen on the 10th. And maybe if there'll be like a glass clank and go like, oh, I have an announcement, and maybe I'll roast the two of them. I don't know. I want to write down the jokes and email the jokes to the groom, the homie in question, and I want them to be pre-approved because I don't want to piss off the bride's family, and I don't want to piss off his family. Like, I don't want to go too hard in the paint because I hit pretty hard, and not everybody gets comedy, especially if it's a wedding. It's not really a comedy show, but I want to roast the two of them. Just like 3 minutes or whatever of just jokes, make everybody laugh, everybody drinks and has a good time, and hopefully I don't relapse because I definitely almost relapsed today because as of this recording it's St. Patrick's Day, and everybody's out and drinking, and I actually didn't go to a mic tonight because I felt the itch of booze. Because there were places that had like green Jello shots and Jameson and all that stuff, and like I love whiskey. I miss the smell of whiskey. I miss it, and just the itch was coming back to me. I really thought I had this sober thing under control, and I do for the most part. This episode of the Jaking Off Show is brought to you by Phoenix Fit, or as I like to call them, F and X. Woo! You see the X makes it look cool. Phoenix Fit provides multivitamin supplements, and before I even get into it, I actually use this stuff, all right? This isn't some Amway USANA thing. I actually use these products. I wouldn't be sponsored by a company that I wouldn't actually, use. You know what I mean? This isn't some fake thing. I actually use this stuff. Now, what I have here is I have the Immune Complex Science-Driven Immune Booster. It's got elderberry and zinc to help keep your immune system in top condition. And that's especially important now. I also have one of their newer products. It's turmeric gummies, and that helps with inflammation. Even if you don't have the gastrointestinal issues that I have, it helps keep you less sore after a workout. And although I'm not in fighting shape right now, I'm going to start to get in fighting shape because I just ordered the dragon fruit flavor of their protein powder. And they've got other great flavors like watermelon and raspberry lemonade. And of course, they've got chocolate and vanilla and strawberry for you like basic gentiles out there. It's really good stuff. They have also got vegan protein if you're into that sort of thing. And they also have krill oil, which has omega-3s that it's good for your brain to help make the words go and stuff like that. Just go to phoenixfit.com and type in promo code JAKEOFF and get 15% off of any order. Click the link below, type in promo code JAKEOFF, and get 15% off of any order. If you don't believe me, just go to the website, click a random thing, type in the promo code, and you'll see that I'm not lying to you. I actually use this stuff. Just go window shopping. Even if you're not necessarily into it, just check it out, and you'll help me, help you, you'll get in shape, and you'll support the podcast. So that way, everybody wins. Go to phoenixfit.com and type in promo code JAKEOFF at checkout. Get 15% off of any order. And don't forget to tell them that the Jaking Off Show sent you. I not so much as I thought, because if I'm surrounded by people having a good time and getting drunk, I need to keep my hands busy. Like, I have to be busy. I have to be doing something that's somewhat creative work related. And I know we're going off subject a little here, but I'm dabbling into the photography thing. I just did some photographs for a comedy show last Sunday, and I took some pretty good pictures. And the camera I'm filming on also shoots photos. That thing shoots in 4K, guys. It shoots in 4K. And why isn't this in 4K? Well, I can't do long footage in 4K because it drains the battery and it takes up a lot of space on the card. So I want to fuck around with 4K a little bit and take some really good pictures at comedy shows, especially at ones that I'm not performing at, because the itch gets to me, just the booze itch, and I really thought I've had control over it for the most part of 3.5 years. I haven't had a drink since the Slayer concert in 2017. But, I wanted my last time to be a good time, and I want it to stay that way. So whether I'm performing or not, I want to be busy. So if and when I'm able to do this wedding roast, I want to have a good time. I want to be social and not be the nervous wreck that I am. And is weed legal in Massachusetts? Is weed legal in Vermont? Oh, I hope it is, because that would ease me into this. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But I want to have a good time, and I just want it to be fun. I just want it to be fun, and that's all I want. And I'm more than willing to spend more than half of my stimulus check on that, because I want to do comedy in other places, and this would be a fine opportunity to do so. Fly into Boston, check out a mic over there, drive through New Hampshire into Vermont. Maybe there's a comedy scene in Vermont. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'll stay for like a couple days longer. Who knows? Again, playing it by ear. What's really funny is that my homie who's getting married, he proposed to his girlfriend on his birthday in 2019. And he still made it about himself. That's the first joke I'm going to try out on them. Hopefully they like it. And then the next day, there was a small earthquake in SoCal where I was at. And I texted him like, hey, dude, the Earth's not supposed to move till the honeymoon. Slow down. Slow your roll. And then the day after that, there was another earthquake. There was another small earthquake on July 4th. It's like, dude, chill. Like, I know she said yes, but come on, but it's just jokes, man. And hopefully her East Coast people can get that. Who knows? I'm going to write a bunch of jokes down and I'm going to run it by them. I'll get them pre-approved. We'll see what works. We'll see what doesn't work. We'll see what they'll be sketched out on, And I don't know. I don't know his lady super well, but I know she's an actress and she likes cheese. I don't know. That's all I got to work with so far. So I got to expand a little bit. Maybe have some R&R sometime with like her background and all that stuff. Maybe a Zoom podcast might be in order before I pre-approve these jokes. That might be something in the future. Zoom podcasts. Ugh. Those are, I want to do them, but I don't, because I don't know how to improve the audio on their end. I don't know what equipment they're using. I mean, I have my equipment, but then like when the guest is talking on like Skype or Zoom or whatever, and then it's like grainy and the picture quality isn't that great, and that it's a complicated thing that I don't know how to work. I don't know. I'm not like very too tech savvy, but I haven't done Zoom stuff for that reason. So like all my West Coast buddies back home that would probably want to do a podcast, like a big reason why I haven't asked closer homies to do one with me is mostly because of like the quality of the episode, and I've done a couple of them here and there, but they're just not good, and there's lag, and we cut each other off and stuff like that, and I want to bring out good stuff, I want this to be good. And earlier, I had this idea that of maybe I want to do like a bonus podcast or something, because I do like talking about music, and I'll get in trouble if I have the music play while on Spotify or Apple or YouTube or whatever. I don't want to get in trouble with that. I don't want the video to get flagged. So I just had the idea of possibly doing a music podcast for like Patreon people exclusively, because that way like I won't get in trouble or whatever, because I really like metal music, and I really like talking about music, especially with other people, because I just saw the Dropkick Murphys live stream performance earlier today, and that's like my dream concert. That's my dream concert. I've always wanted to see the Dropkick Murphys on St. Patrick's Day in Boston. That is my dream show. And last year, when at the beginning of this pandemic, it was St. Patrick's Day and the world was locked down. I visited Oklahoma to check out the scene here, and my cousin's husband was like, oh, hey, I know you performed the day before, and I'll check you out the next night. And then that next night never came because everything was closed. And some of the silver lining with that day was that the Dropkick Murphys decided to live stream their annual Boston concert at the last second, like at the absolute last second, because they had sold tickets, they were going to do the whole thing, and then they set up all the live stream shit at like the 11th hour of the whole thing. And my dream kind of came true. I got to see one of my favorite punk bands perform for free. That's a cool thing. And I got to enjoy it. I smoked the vape pen and all that, and I enjoyed the show. And I enjoyed this show too. And I want to discuss the songs. I want to talk about specific riffs. I want to do a deep dive, maybe a 15-20 minute music podcast where I talk about a specific album. And maybe not all my Patreon homies listen to metal per se, but it's something. It's something that I'm passionate about. And the whole thing with podcasts is that people are inherently interesting. People are inherently interesting in conversation. And even though this is just a one-on-one, this is just me and you here, and I'm, leading the whole thing, I like talking about music. And it's not even going to just be metal. I'm not a fucking elitist. I want to talk about Led Zeppelin. I want to talk about Janis Joplin and the Doors and, Bob Marley and Blondie and shit and some of the more current stuff, Tyler, the Creator. I'm not too big into hip hop, but there's some songs I do enjoy. And, I want to break down those songs. I want to talk about how I feel about those songs. You listen to a certain song and it takes you back to the first time you heard that song. It takes you back to a certain time in your life, and you remember those days. I remember listening to Disturbed when I was a kid. And it just listening to those songs, certain songs just took me back to the type of person that I was back then. The type of person that I was when I was a teenager. I was just angry and full of rage and hate and angst to how I've changed to when that song first came out and how I feel listening to the song now. I want to break that down and hopefully, and I'm very interested in that subject, and then that subject will be interesting along with it. And maybe you guys can help me pick out songs, because I want to elaborate. I want to listen to new songs. Not everybody's a hard rocker metalhead that I am. Send me songs that you guys like, and I'll put in my 2 cents. I'll smoke a joint and I'll think about it. And I'll review the song and stuff. And maybe that could be a bonus thing that I'd like to do. That'd be fun. That'd be great. That's just a cool idea that I have, and that'll be bonus stuff because I want to play the song and I won't get in, I don't want to get in trouble and all that thing, and I want to be more consistent because there's the rants that come out every week on Patreon. There, homies get early access to that. There's my stand-up comedy that's a Patreon exclusive, and I feel that that's kind of running stale a little bit because I tape and record all of my sets, and a lot of my sets that I've been posting up are different variations of the same jokes. And you guys have heard most of them by now. And the weekly rants, those are new jokes every week. I try to write at least 2 minutes a week. And I don't want to just use the same old recycled shit. I want to do more, and I want to try more. And now that I'm kind of going off the unemployment still, I said last episode that the unemployment ran out. It did. But I might still have some wiggle room because under new legislation, I'm still getting, it says if it's said on the EDD that, if you're still getting pandemic unemployment assistance, you don't need to recertify and check back. So I think I'll wait around a little bit of a week or two, and I've got a lot of leeway. I've got a pretty wide safety net, and I think I'll be chill. But if nothing happens by mid-May or so, then it's time to really it's time to actually buckle down and get a job. I'm thinking the Postmates hustle, and I've got some wiggle room, but we'll see what happens because I know the president signed a bill for the COVID relief bill, and I'm not gonna say no to free money. I'm not, but at the same time, and the other side of the coin, I do miss work. I do miss my sense of purpose. I do miss that. However, this might be the only time in my life at the level that I'm at to really do comedy and do podcasting and just do the stuff that I like doing and not have to worry about fucking waiting tables or being at a fucking register. Because, that was a major thing. It's an excuse to say that it was holding me back, but it was holding me back because when I was working, I would work my day job, I would go to the gym, I would hit a mic, and then I'd be out of gas. I would be out of gas, and I wouldn't have enough energy to do. And this was even before I was doing the podcast. I didn't have enough energy to do more. Whereas if I didn't have a job, I could put all of my energy into writing jokes, into ranting, and I've had more time to do that. And now that I do, and I can't help but be a little ashamed of myself that I've spent most of that time sleeping. I've spent a good amount of this lockdown, this quarantine, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I've spent a good amount of time of that sleeping, and I am disappointed in myself for doing that. But I feel a little better because I'm taking these supplements now, and when you have bacteria in your gut that's sitting in there, and my gut's not flushing it all out. I'm trying not to be crass about it, but the way I feel in my gut, literally and figuratively, affects my brain. See, I've read that an accumulation of bad gut bacteria, or just queasiness, fatigue, diarrhea, all that, it affects your mood, and it might explain a lot. But I'm trying hard to fix that. I'm not drinking the Monster energy drinks. I've been off of that for a week now, and that was kind of like my drug of choice. That was my cocaine. That was my booze, because that is an addiction. The Monster energy drinks are an addiction. If you know me well, I have been drinking those fucking things for at least one, for the past 10 years. One a day, every day for 10 years. And that's probably a big factor onto why I hurt so much down there. Because just all of that carbonation, all of those chemicals, and just, it's killing me. It's killing me. And I mean, I'm not smoking cigarettes. I'm not drinking as heavily. I'm not drinking heavy at all, and I could be addicted to worse stuff, but this stuff is bad for you. The Red Bulls and shit, even the zero sugar shit, it's all bad for you. And trying to curb that sugar fix is difficult, It causes cancer and stuff like that. And, I want to live. I want to, and it's a hard habit to break, and occasionally I crack every now and then, because they fucking sell Monsters at Bricktown, and I want to be hyped up and be the crazy person that I am, and combat the nervous energy and really ramp it up and do my style of comedy. But I need to bring that energy up in an organic way, because I want the crazy persona that I put on stage. I want the rants and stuff. I want that to match the guy on stage, because me doing comedy on stage, I'm not always nuts. I need to be able to taper off and get back into it and calm down. Because I was watching a comedian. He was really funny. His name's Eddie Pepitone. Maybe you've heard of him. But he's an older guy, And he I saw one of his specials on Amazon, and he was like, "I'm on Molly." And then he calmed down a little bit, and I'm like, that's the style that I like. I like that style, because that's very me, I'm neurotic, I'm addicted to comedy, as if you can't already tell, but that's the style that I need to harness. That's the style that I like. And, but I need to also not sponge brain that particular style, because I need to study. I need to watch that kind of wild comedy from a different angle. I need to study, and I need to watch, and I need to not necessarily pay attention to what is being said, but how it's being said. And that's how I'm going to get better, is that I'm an athlete watching game tape. When I watch other comedians on stage, I'm watching them and I've heard their jokes 10, 12 times, but I'm watching how they do it. Because what if I gotta follow Adrian? What if I gotta follow Brandon? What if I gotta follow Maverick? I'm just naming comedians off the top of my head. What's the angle that I come in at? Some guys are ranters. Some guys tell stories. Sometimes they're short and punchy. Some guys do crowd work. How do I follow that? How do I get in there and keep the energy? Or what if it's a guy that's low energy and that's bombing or whatever? How do I follow that? I'm watching. I'm studying. I'm not really watching for the sake of entertainment. That's how I want to do it. And that's you heard it here. You heard it here. That's how I want to do things. And I'm nice and ramped up. I'm nice and pissed off because, look, as long as bad things keep happening, you're going to hear me talk about it. And it's bad when bad things happen, but this is how I get it off my chest, man. And that'll do it for this episode of the Jaking Off Show. Please share and tell your friends. Follow on Spotify. Listen on Apple Podcasts. Rate and review. Support me on Patreon. Click the links in the description for the sponsors. The Patreon. Subscribe on YouTube because I'm not hot. I'm not attractive. And I need to get the word out there. And the only way I can do that is a little help from you. The little serotonin hits, the like buttons on Instagram of all the clips and all that stuff. That's cool, but it literally costs you nothing and it takes no time. And it's honestly not enough because I'm trying to get out there and I'm trying to spread the gospel of the Jaking Off Show. And it's a slow process, but I just need to be consistent. And you guys would be doing me a solid, a huge solid, if you did any one of those things. You don't even have to listen to the whole thing. Maybe you didn't even get this far. But if you did, spread the word. I would really appreciate that. And anyway, I'm going to cut it off right here. It's been dope. Thank you guys for listening. Okay, thanks. Bye.